they drifting on the beat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of TalkNSupes. I'm Ed from Ways of the Sith.
And I'm on Day Got You. What's going on?
What's going on? We are back for another episode. I think this is episode 24. I got that right?
Yeah.
24, 25?
That should be right.
We're almost there. We're almost at
sure.
almost at 25, man. I can't believe we've been doing this long. If you're just tuning in,
Right.
we are a movie, television, and comic book podcast. We discuss all things having to do with pop culture and nerd fandom, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
We get all our information from trusted sources, and we report on anything that is out there in the ether. So if this is your first time tuning in and checking us out, please make sure to give us a follow and subscribe to whether you're on podcasts or you're on YouTube, for sure.
Yeah. I was in KOP Mall this weekend, and I actually found a subscriber in the middle of freaking the sneaker store, so that was awesome to see him. And ironically enough, the dude is the same name as me. For y'all don't know, my actual name is Amir, and his name was Amir too. So
that's funny.
That was the weird thing about it.
Well, shout out to Amir.
Shout
for
out
listening.
to you, bro. Yeah. Shout out to you, bro.
And thank you very much for checking us out. But we got a packed week this week, tons of stuff to talk about, but first and foremost, we pushed our recording day back a day because the season debut of House of the Dragons, and boy, I was gonna play the music. I was gonna cue it up and play the music, but I didn't want to get a copyright strike in our first 5 minutes of the show.
Little thing right there.
But we got the first episode of the third season, so there's only going to be 4 seasons of this show. There's this season and one more season coming. And boy, did they not hold back from this first episode. It was over an hour episode, and boy, did they kind of run through some story in this episode. Just what were your initial thoughts before we go breaking down the episode?
I just hate how the first episode of House of Dragon is always the hardest one and the coldest one in so many different ways. But I've been thinking about the episode all day, basically. I did love it because if I'm thinking about it so much, but as we get into it, I am a little sad about some of the things that happened. So yeah, it was a great episode though, for sure. I can't wait for this Sunday.
I will say that the one person in this show that I think captivates me more than, well, there's 2 people in this show that really captivate me more than anybody else in this cast. And it's not so much the character, it's more so the portrayal of the character and just their presence on screen. It's Alicent. Whenever she's on screen, I'm locked in. She's just something about the way she plays this character, and the fact that she's been playing the character since she took over for the character in the second season, but I feel like she's kind of owned this character better than the first actress. Rhaenyra was the one for me where I still have a hard time with the older Rhaenyra versus having Millie be her in the beginning. I really loved Millie in this role, and then when they did switch the actresses, I've still kind of had a hard time. It's still the same character, but it's a different actress. You know what I mean? And it's just a little bit of disconnect. Even though I ride for Rhaenyra, I am Team Black. I'm not Team Green. And then
those are facts.
And then Matt Smith's character. I just feel like he is, every time he's on screen, it's just a top 10 performance, and he's really dedicated to this show and playing this character. And the way he plays Daemon is so interesting. He's an interesting character in the book. When you read the Dance of Dragons book, he's very interesting, and you kind of feel the same way that you do in the show. But watching Matt Smith's portrayal, I think, really just elevates the character and brings that out for me.
Well, I hope in this season we get to see more of him, because last season he was barely even in it because he was bugging out.
Well, they were doing that whole storyline with Harrenhal and him having the visions and the ghost of Harrenhal. And I don't know if you connected it until maybe seeing this episode, but
Yeah, I did.
but
Yeah.
but Rivers is a full blown witch. Like she was the one fucking with him at Harrenhal. If you didn't realize that, like
I didn't. And
okay.
when I seen the goat, I was like, what the fuck? And it bugged me out. And when the guy ran away and he said,
and then did you
this,
notice
this is what I said.
the children?
Yeah, when I seen the black goat, my Spanish brain went, "Oh, that's some burrilla shit."
Yeah.
and as soon as she came out, she was like, "I'm a witch." I was like, "Oh, I freaking knew it."
Well, did you? No, that's what I'm asking though. Did you see the guy with the antlers, like the creature before she came down, or did you miss that?
Nah, I think I missed it, but I seen it now after the fact. But
okay.
I did miss it.
So first. He's up on the cliff when like they're all wondering what the fuck is going on. You see it's so they were saying children of the forest. I don't think that's what they're called. I think they have a different name for them because the children.
I just seen something that they were called green watchmen
men.
or something like
green
that.
Men.
Green men. Yeah.
They're basically. So you remember like the ones that lived in the trees in Game of Thrones, like the original Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
The ones that like teach Bran and take him to the Three-Eyed Crow and all that. So like they're all the same, but they split. So like the green men protect things and like they live like as creatures almost, and then the children of the forest are like humanoid elf type creatures that like possess magic and can do different stuff. So it was really cool to see the Green Man yesterday in that episode because it's foreshadowing for things to come. And the fact that Rivers basically admitted, like, I'm a witch. I'm and then she sends them to Harrenhal, or does she send them to Dragonstone? I forget where she sent them.
Well, I remember they were trying to go to Dragonstone.
Well, they were waiting on they were waiting on Aemon and his dragon to show up. That's what they were there for.
Yeah.
All three of those characters are very important characters going forward.
Good.
That's why
I thought they were just normal writers just trying to like do their job.
So the reason they're special is because they're not full-blooded Targaryens. They're bastard Targaryen children that were fathered out of wedlock. But Rhaenyra's needed dragon riders, and she's got the dragons, so she needed to try this thing. And we saw in the last season her trying out all of these half-blooded Targaryens, and most of them got slaughtered in those caves, but these were the three that were able to claim their dragons. We know the one is more so the African American guy. He's almost like full Targaryen in a way, because he's Targaryen, but he's also the Sea Snake's like son. So it's weird. Like those two families are from Old Valyria, so he's a little different than the other two. Hugh, and I forget the other guy's name who like is the drunk and the fuck up.
Yeah.
They're the two.
The guy that was trying to run away or whatever.
Yeah, they're the two that going forward you're gonna want to keep an eye on. If you've never read the books, if you don't know what their role is in all of this, those two characters are two very important characters that play a huge role in how things continue to play out for this season and the rest of this Dance of Dragons. That's I think why they're starting to focus more on those characters in this season and gave them like the time that they gave them for this first episode, because they want you to kind of start to get familiar with who they are as people and what their character traits are, because as you saw in yesterday's episode, the one guy don't give a fuck about any of this. Like he doesn't care one way or another who wins. He doesn't care about anything other than like what's going to benefit him in the long run. And then when he found out even yesterday, like, oh, she promised us a knighthood that should come with a castle, and the other guy's like, a lordship guarantees you a castle, not a knightship. All it does is get you a horse. And he's like, what the fuck is a horse good for when I got this fucking dragon? He's like, people give you respect. And he's like, they're gonna respect me with the fucking dragon.
Castle.
And so like you see already his motivation's very clear. Sir Hugh is an interesting character because his motivations are a little bit different in the scheme of things. Like he's there because he he's strong. He's a great warrior and can actually fight, but you'll see like how things play. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't read the books and because then it'll affect how you view things going forward. I'd rather get your fresh reaction and me be the one to know how this is all going to play out.
Yes, please.
But I really love that like they spent the time focusing on them in this episode. I do love the fact that we spent all that time with Corlys and Sea Snake and his son and the she bitch and
he finally admitted it.
Yep, and told him that like
he finally admitting that being his son.
I actually loved your mother. Like I was very fond of her. That's kind of how he says it, but it's him basically telling him like I actually loved your mother. She wasn't just some chick I was fucking in the port. We are getting the Lord Corlys animated show. If you guys haven't seen our previous episodes, we discussed that. That is going forward so originally was supposed to be a live action spin-off show, but because of costs and everything like that, they're going to do it in an animated form. So that is going to be one of the Game of Thrones projects that will be coming down the line, where we'll get the tales of the Sea Snake and basically his 8 adventures or 7 adventures, whatever. I forget what it is in the books that he took. And we get to see different parts of the world that we've never gotten to see in Westeros before. So that'll be a lot of fun to be able to explore that and these different artifacts and things that he comes by. That's why that woman pirate, I guess you want to call her a pirate, the captain of that ship, that's why she basically said what she said about like, I don't give a fuck about winning your war. She's like, do you know the glory that comes to me if I'm the one who takes down the Sea Snake? Like he has monuments built to him in this kingdom, like he's a god of the seas, and that's how everyone views him. Like, and I don't know if the show's done a good job like really emphasizing that about him. It did in the first season, but I feel like since he's kind of become a background player.
Yeah, in the last season, I think they did more because they kind of made him more of a dominant person on the port, and that he's the guy to go to for those things. And seeing him actually at sea and stuff like that, I think they did more so last season. But the last 2 seasons, there really wasn't much of anything with the Sea Snake people other than that first initial like meeting.
The first initial thing
Jason
was more so about like his daughters marrying Rhaenyra's sons and like the cross pollination of the 2 families, because they are both old Valyrian families. They both come from old Valyria. The Sea Snake's family was like his ancestors were part of Rhaegar's original, like Aegon's original conquest when he came over here. So that's why like they're out on the water. Right. They're in between the two nations, but they were one of the old families that kind of came over with Aegon on his conquest and his sister wives.
Right.
So like his one daughter that's with Sheep Stealer is that big dragon. So that's what I was referring to last week about them combining 2 characters. She's filling the role of Nettles. In the book, she really doesn't have a role. She's kind of like her character herself is more so just kind of stationary someplace and doesn't really take place in the Dance of Dragons. But they're combining her character with Nettles and kind of giving her Nettles storyline, because for whatever reason they didn't want to introduce her, and I felt like that was a mistake because Nettles is such an awesome character in the show. I mean, in the books, that I'm wondering, like, I'm not fond of this actress, the girl that's playing her. I had some, like, there were some issues with some of her acting in yesterday's episode that, like, I was just like, I don't know if she's going to be able to pull off, like, the Nettles for me, but
I just don't feel like she did any acting really, like other than like her great expressions on like her being next to a dragon and stuff like that. I didn't see any like real like acting, like words, like dialogue coming out of her mouth.
And it could be because like she's mostly interacting with green screen and like inanimate objects that aren't actually there. So like that could be part of it. I'm interested to see like as this season progresses, because as I know for a fact, like she's gonna be playing the Nettles role in this show. So I'm interested to see where it goes, although I would have liked like Nettles to actually be introduced. Her sister is an awesome dragon rider. You saw that, Jace's wife. She saved his ass a bunch of times. I thought this harpooning was way better than the original Game of Thrones when they did it. You know what I mean? Like, this was thought out. This had an anchor attached to the other side of the rope so that this way, once it hooked, it was dragging the dragon down. And, like, boy, oh boy, we'll get there. I don't want to jump ahead there, but I thought that was a better touch than, like, the initial first season where they were just shooting bows. Like, you know, okay, you're hitting them, but you're not, you know, they can rip it out. And you saw that happen with Daenerys dragon and, you know, a couple other things. So
when we and my sister were watching that part, and I thought the same thing because I noticed that like when they harpooned his dragon, it like attached to like the collar of like the dragon's area, and I was like, oh wow, that's smart that they thought about doing that. But in my brain, I was like, oh well, they didn't actually hit the dragon, so they're okay.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said, with the anchor part, and I was like, oh shit, there's an anchor on this. I'm like, I'm sure the dragon can like outweigh the anchor, but
you would
that's
think
a fucking strong as an anchor.
You would think, like the first one, he was able to do. He was able to like pull it into the ship, and then he got caught on the ship, and then Jace's wife came down and like swooped it and cut the rope. But that was like, I guess that was my only issue with that whole ending was like, Jace, you have a sword on you, right? Like, climb off your saddle and cut the rope.
Right. But my thing was with that was.
It was in the moment. He was strapped in.
Yeah, he was strapped in. And is that rope too like much for a normal sword to cut through?
No, I think if he would have hopped off and like cut it with his sword, like it would have. All right, now you're free, go. But yeah, the dragon did try to like pull it out on its own, but couldn't reach it. You saw it like go for it.
Yeah, with his feet. Yeah.
It wasn't long enough. But before we get there, the sea battle was fucking amazing to see. The destruction, the fact that they're dueling on the two ships that are split in half and they're bouncing from plank to plank of the different ships as the ships are sinking and splitting apart, fucking epic. Loved that to no end. Lord Corlys is still alive. Sea Snake did not die during this battle. The way they framed it, they kind of made it seem that way, but that's not the case. He is alive. He's going to be continuing to be part of this show. His son wiling the fuck out though and killing that chick was a great fight.
And is that chick related to anybody or anything in Game of Thrones?
So I forget the lore like behind her. She is tied in somehow, some way, but I think they're more so I think they're more so like a group of like pirate mercenaries, the way like it's set up, because the Lannisters were just like the one Lannister twin was on her side, and then the other Lannister twin we'll talk about lost his fucking head. So we if you want to go to the Matt Smith thing, we can.
Let's because I have questions about that battle in general. Like that was crazy.
So Matt Smith's character, they're taking the Riverlands. They're basically making their way through the Riverlands and trying to take back the Riverlands. So the Riverlands I wish I had my Game of Thrones map up behind me that I could demonstrate. But the Riverlands are in the southern part of the map on the right side. So there's the north, and then the Riverlands are below the north. So Matt Smith's making his way through, all of a sudden sees that motion's coming through the woods and gets his guys ready to fight, gets his guys ready to go. They're ready to charge. And I love the way they frame this shot because everything's blurred out. All that you see is the shadows of the people. You don't see the banners. You see the banners, but you don't see the sigil on the banners. And then when he comes out, first of all, shout out to my man Chubbs from Sons of Anarchy. Fantastic actor. I'm so happy he's playing one of the Wolf Warriors in this. And this is basically a mercenary squad of the North that has come down from Cregan Stark that has been sent to help Rhaenyra take the throne. And they're like Valhalla, they're Vikings essentially in the North. This group of men that have come down. That's why he says what he said to Matt Smith. He said, you know, we're here to die for the Dragon Queen, because they view dying on the battlefield as like the highest possible honor. They're the elite guards in the North, and that's why they were sent. So they'll play a big part going forward in like what's coming. But
Yeah.
I love the fact that like you did not see the wolf sigil until the head was already up in the air, and then once the head's up in the air, the camera focused and you got the full visual of both panels, and you were like, the North's fucking here. Like, yeah. Winter's here, motherfucker.
So two things that like piqued my interest as soon as that this battle comes on is as soon as they zoom in on the battle and all the knights are fighting, I noticed that this guy was like chopping the shit out of like a lion or something like that.
Yeah.
And like I didn't even know those were like
Lannisters.
around in this time period.
Lannisters. Yeah.
The Lannisters have lions. Okay. So so that was dope to see. And then again, like seeing what's his name, Tommy Flaggins, who's like Rodney the Ruin, is that who he goes by? I read did some research on him, and supposedly there's like another character in here that he's married to that's not in here, but it's important from the books. I think her name is Binary. I think her name is.
I'm not 100% sure. I think
Okay.
I think in the book she's just like part of the crew. But they don't. So even though like we love,
they say she's an important person. That's why I was like,
well, but
they say she's not in the show.
Even though we love the Starks aren't going to play a big role in this show at all. They're there. They're going to be featured. But they're not going to get the spotlight. Like last night was a good way to like kind of show is like they're here. But they're the soldiers for like the main story of what's really going on, and we're not gonna. I don't know if like what they're gonna flush out about the Starks, about what's going on in the North, about anything you know to that extent. But we did see Jace make the deal at the end of last season with them. He went to the wall. He spoke to Lord Stark. He made the deal, and that's why they're here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, which is why I thought that's why they showed up. Yeah. So that was a good move.
Yeah, that was basically all Jace. So like, I love that. I love that, especially for this episode, because you saw like he played an active role. He did what he was supposed to do. He thought he was trying to do the right thing in this, and it backfired. So he bars his mom in her room, basically preventing her from getting on her dragon and going out to fly to this battle. And him and his wife take her place and basically ride their dragons and go out to help the sea snake and fight this war. And, you know, like we had discussed just a little while ago, his dragon gets shot with an arrow, and that has an anchor attached to it. He gets held up. His wife comes down and swoops and cuts the rope, freeing him. Instead of getting out of there, so like I'm gonna call her Nettles because I don't know what her name is in the show. She's not a character that I remember her from the previous seasons, but I forget her name. I think it's Rhea or Raina, something like that. But I'm just gonna call her Nettles for fuck's sake. So we can.
I'll look it up.
She comes in with Sheep Stealer and kind of fucks them up a little bit. Like she's like, her dragon's not in control. She still doesn't have a good grip on Sheep Stealer yet. And she kind of comes swooping through without any kind of plan or direction and fucks up her sister and Jace. And in the process, Jace takes another arrow into his dragon. Like I was saying, I unbuckle yourself, take your sword out, cut the rope. But he doesn't do that. He satchels himself. His wife tries to swoop in and cut the rope again, but he's too low. And now the dragon's getting pulled down because they're in deep water. She makes one pass to try to catch him, couldn't. Now the dragon's in the water sinking. Jace can't get himself out of his saddle. He's basically locked into his saddle, and his dragon is being pulled underwater. And finally, when he gets himself unbuckled, his dragon sinks and basically dies in that moment, being pulled down to the bottom of the ocean. Jace floats to the top, finds a board that he puts his arm on. And in that moment, you think, okay, you know, the battle's going on behind him. And then in that moment, you see the arrow hit him right in the back. And he turns to look, and there's a cruise ship right there waiting for him and just light him the fuck up. He takes a couple arrows in the neck, a couple in the chest, and then that is the end of Jace. And
oh boy.
And for me, like the way they shot it is perfect. It's perfect to the books. The main tidbit in the books is from Lord Corlys in this moment, and he says like they say we won the battle, but for all the lives lost, like we lost the most important person, like we lost Jace during this battle, and for that doesn't feel like a win to me. That's the biggest loss like we could have possibly taken, and now that's one less dragon for Rhaenyra and another son. Like she's lost all of her children.
Like every time like I feel like she gets it the worst, and then like they say, and then but like for so much good that Rhaenyra has with all the dragons and all these things, and I feel like her L's are the hardest more than her W's. It's just like
I'm just gonna interject here and say you haven't seen the worst one yet.
Oh man. Oh man.
So my guess is that will be the finale of this season. And unless they prolong it into season 4 and just give it to us as like the opening of season 4, I could see that too. But the biggest fuckery that happens to her has yet to happen, and when it does, I think everyone's gonna lose their fucking mind watching this show. If you don't know what's coming,
yeah,
it's a doozy.
Yeah, the other thing too is that like what's his name? Damien, like he is just like doing. He's doing. I'm glad he's back here doing what he's supposed to be doing. And he's fighting and stuff like that. But like, man, my dude Jace, her other son, it's just, and I feel like Jace did what he was supposed to do as a son. Like I feel like he did everything right. Like and having her stay home and just like be the queen. But for what you lose in return is just like damn.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, and now like this is the blow. This is like the biggest blow to her, and not only just as a mother, like losing your other kid in a horrible way, but the fact that like he was her closest confidant. He was her general next to Daemon, and now Daemon is fighting this war steadfast. He's going to continue to fight this war. Daemon's not done. Daemon's going to make his way all the way to fucking King's Landing, just picking off fucking armies and going through. The cool contrast is too, we learned about this in Dunk and Egg. Well, you learned about this in Dunk and Egg. The Blackfires, correct? The Blackfire family, the offshoot Targaryens. Well, the interesting thing in this show, Daemon is in possession of the Blackfire sword. That Daemon uses that. That's his sword.
You're right.
Not Aegon. Aerys. Aemon. He has Aemon, he has the sword from Aegon the Conqueror. So the contrast between those two blades that become historic blades that continued down the Targaryen dynasty and the Blackfire dynasty as these events go on, all the way till we get to Dunk in the Egg. And you're still seeing the ramifications of this war in Dunk and Egg, and will be highlighted even more come season 2. So I just like, for those of you that are into Night of the Seven Kingdoms, all this stuff that you're watching in House of the Dragon currently is definitely going to play a huge role in season 2 of Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. But
yeah, let's talk about Aemon real quick, because he's another one that this season,
little fucking weirdo,
every season pisses me off.
Kissing his mom and shit.
Yo, like,
and she was
like
fucking horrified.
Yeah, she was like, and
but
every time
it goes back to him
Game
being
of Thrones does this weird like incest stuff, it gets weirder and weirder, and I think this is peak. I don't even know. This is probably worse shit in the book.
Well, it's not.
What I'm seeing right now.
This isn't in the book. That's the crazy part. This isn't something that happens in the book.
Oh my god!
It's alluded to obviously in the first season or second season. Whenever Aemon grows up a little bit and we see him in the whorehouse, he's with that older woman and he's just having her.
Right.
He's having her, coddle him and hold him, and so like he's got this deep seated affection issue that like he didn't get enough love from his mom, and so now he's using that like and acting it out because now he took his brother's place as the throne. Like, and she's willing to basically sacrifice Aemon at this point. Like, that's the deal she made with Rhaenyra, if you remember, at the end of last season. She basically said, I'll send Aemon, a son for a son. You know, he killed your son. Yeah. I will willingly give him to you as long as you leave the other kids alone and leave my grandchildren alone. And that was the deal. So now when she comes back after going away to make the deal with Rhaenyra, which he's already obviously keen on that something's up and she's been gone for a while, her whole plan goes to shit immediately because she's like, where's your brother? Why are you in the throne? And you see it the minute she realizes, she goes to walk to his room and the King's Guard's like, no, he's in the throne room. And she's like, oh, fuck.
What?
And she I think in her mind, her first thought is, oh shit, Aemon killed his brother. And like, because he tried to. If I don't know how subtle, like if you picked up on that in the last season, like when his brother falls and gets burned and is laying there, he's ready to put the sword through his brother and put his brother out of his fucking misery because he wants the throne. That's all he's ever wanted is the throne. Right. So it almost happened, but Kristen Cole shows up and you know, he acts like he wasn't going to do it, but he was. So in her mind, she already knows that this motherfucker is fully capable of killing his brother and taking the throne for himself. And boy,
when he was like, I'm staying here because I have to watch the throne, I'm like, you fucking bitch. Like, why are you
and
here?
She convinced him.
She everything up.
She had to sway him so fucking hard to get him to leave. And now where he's going to go to Harrenhal. So, like, I don't think that's a spoiler for anybody. He's going to make his way to Harrenhal. Matt Smith, obviously, as we know, is moving through the Riverlands. They're not in Harrenhal anymore. They kind of have given up Harrenhal. So you're going to kind of watch them trade places, and you're going to watch Alice Rivers become a major player in what goes on going forward with Aemon. You saw her influence with Daemon. Now you're going to see her influence on Aemon. And the stark contrast between the both of them, as I said last week, I'll continue to say it this week, their stories are completely parallel in who they are as people, how they act, how everything goes, and then it will lead to a confrontation with the two of them at some point. And when we get there, I think that's going to be saved for season 4. I don't think they're going to do it this season. I think that's the main thing to save for season 4. But yeah, that's where that's headed. So all roads are there for the main event between those two, and that's the storyline you really want to pay attention to going forward in the show, because it does kind of come to a head with them, and you'll see how like these influences of these other people and them kind of being the same person kind of leads to the showdown.
Yeah. Also, Aragon cracks me up when he gets pulled over by those guards when they were making their way to
he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Going. Yeah, he's like this who is this? Oh, this is Aragon the king. And he's like, Aegon. No, Aegon, I'm Aegon the king. He's like, no, I'm fucking dying. And he's like, well, his crown is in there, and then he got some other shit there, and he's like, oh shit, this is him.
Yeah.
The funniest shit too is that like
Clubfoot, they were like weirdo fucking Clubfoot.
They're like, who are these other people in the back? And they're like, just nobodies. All right, clink, like just steal them all. Like, what do you mean? Those people just got you there. They ain't nobodies.
Yeah.
Like,
no, got him you killed.
You just killed your Uber driver, my guy.
Yeah. And you'll see how that all plays out with him. He's not a dead man by any means. I love his wife in this show. I'm glad they're giving her more of a role, because in the book she really doesn't have like a big role. But I like the actress that portrays her, his sister wife, and the fact that they're giving her these visions and this connection to the children of the forest, and how she's almost like Bran in this show, where like she can see things ahead of time. she gives Aemon the warning, like, you know, your life, you end in the God's eye. And so, like, that's a hint for what's gonna happen to Aemon. And then, yeah, like, so she's basically gonna stay with the mother. They're gonna be together for pretty much most of this story now going forward. You'll see what happens with Clubfoot and Aemon and Aegon probably in the next episode or like somewhere throughout this season, but tides do turn for them. We were also introduced to a character who we met, but we haven't seen them since they were a child, so I don't think a lot of people even knew who it was, but it is Alicent's other youngest son. He was the one with the dragon in the that came out and sniffed the thing, and it was in the nice clad armor.
Yeah, that little baby dragon that was in the front, like in that little
It's
cage.
in the cage, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
youngest.
so that was that. Yeah, to me, I thought that was the night guard that we always saw that was guarding Allison or whatever.
So it's kind of Kristen. It's alluded to that it's Kristen Cole's son with her because he does have the brown hair. He doesn't have the white hair like the other two do, or the other three do. So it's kind of ambiguous that, like, when she was fucking Kristen Cole, chances are that's her kid with him. But yeah, that's who we were, like, introduced to him, and he read the orders from Aemon, and he said, "Aemon, huh?" Like, and was like, "Oh, okay, so Aemon's king now." Wonder what the fuck happened there. Like, so he'll play a big role in this, and he's actually, like, out of all of them, he's the best kid. He's the best kid because people actually respect him and like him. Against, like, the other two. The other two are little shits. So
the other ones are more royalty. So I think the other one's not as used to that lifestyle.
Yeah. So, like, we haven't seen him since he was a child. They kind of aged him up a little bit and just kind of kept him off to the side because I believe he gets sent to, like, another family. Like, you remember how, like, Theon Greyjoy got sent to the Starks, like, after something happened? I think there was some kind of deal with that where, like, he got sent someplace else and, like, was raised someplace else, and, like, that's why he's different than them. You know, he didn't grow up, like, in King's Landing in the castle.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm
that's dope.
I'm very much looking forward to, like, what they're going to do with the rest of this season because there's not much left of the story. Like, there's literally some key plot points that happen from now and then, but the story's not that long. So, like, the fact that they're going to drag this out for 2 more seasons has me a little hesitant about, all right, they did a lot in this first episode. I wonder how many filler episodes we're going to get throughout this season. And then, you know, same thing with the next season is, like, how much do they draw this out, really? But boy,
my whole thing
what a
is,
way
like,
to start.
I just hope that they don't. So, like, definitely, I know Rhaenyra's gonna freak the fuck out when she hears Jace died, and then once more so when she finds out the fact that Nettles and the dragon sheep shed has something to do with it. Now, when that happens, I really don't want there to be beef between the Sneak Snakes and the Targaryens because
no, there won't be.
It was an accident. So. I just don't. My brain goes to there's gonna be beef, but I hope there's not.
No, there's not. That won't affect anything. It's just more so the fact of, like, she's got this old dragon that she can't control, and that's how it is in the books too of, like, Nettles. But Nettles eventually becomes, like, a full blown dragon rider. So, yeah.
Yo, that dragon deserves to is definitely a YN because he is walking around Westeros with a shiesty and black Air Force all day. He didn't give a fuck what she had to say.
Well, he's got like, I love the design. I love the way they did it because, like, they gave him, like, a jagged jaw and like a real different look to his face than the other dragons. So like, you could tell, like, he's old. He's almost as big as Aemon's dragon. And fucking, you know, he's got a streak to him. You saw that in this episode. Like, he kind of doesn't give a fuck. Like, he's one of the dragons that, like, never let anybody ride him because he doesn't give a fuck. Pretty much,
he's not about that dragon riding life whatsoever.
Pretty much anybody who's ever tried to ride him has gotten eaten. That's basically, like, the lore of you know. So. I'm really interested to see how this season plays out. That was such a way to kick it off, and fucking incredible.
I just hate how every first episode somebody dies. That's just it's so fucking
You
annoying.
got a lot of people that died in this first one. One Lannister. I don't know if the other Lannister got killed or not. I don't know like where he ended up. I know he was on the ship when it got like hit and started to split, but I don't know like if he ended up going down with the ship
Yeah,
and dying or like if he ended up getting away. I'm not sure.
and and that Lannister, I thought that was the one that the Northmen when they threw the head. I thought that was him.
Well, they're
So,
twins.
but then when I seen him again on the ship, I was like, "What the fuck?"
They're twins. There's two of them.
Oh, you right. They're
Yeah,
twins.
yeah. It's the same actor playing both
That is
roles,
right.
but yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
twins. Yeah. Yeah, they're the
Okay,
Lannister twins.
that
They're
makes
they're
sense.
the two-headed lion or whatever they call themselves. Yeah. So one's dead, one's lost his fucking head, and the other one I'm sure is either dead on in the battle or is about to be after this all plays out. So yeah, it's very interesting. We should kind of be starting to see some of the other families kind of come more into play too as like the season goes on. So because you're going to have your allegiances, you're going to have things going on, and as we know, Alicent has basically directed Rhaenyra to come to King's Landing and take the throne. She's going to leave it open
Mm-hmm.
for her, and that's what she did by sending Aemon away. She sent Aemon away on purpose so that Rhaenyra could come in and just take the throne, and they could get the fuck out of there. But now
Mm-hmm.
with Jace dying, Rhaenyra viewpoint is a little bit different than the last time they had a
Mm-hmm.
conversation together. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, pay attention. It's gonna be a hell
Mm-hmm.
of a season going forward, and things are not gonna slow down. That's for sure. Um,
Oh shit.
we got some breaking news in the Star Wars this week. Jeff Snyder from the Insider put out a report from Disney, so we have some kind of plans and philosophy going forward for what they have planned after the success or failure of The Mandalorian, depending on which way you look at it. So going forward, we're supposed to get 2 series and 1 movie per year with no standalone films. All of the films will connect into the next saga. All future series on the TV side will be set in the New Republic era, so that's Mandalorian, Ahsoka, etc. They're seeking out emerging talents, 18 to 25, to try to connect with younger audiences. And they want the movies to take big risks, introduce new worlds, and follow clear proposals, with Starfighter being used as the main example. So it seems like there's a plan in place going forward now after Mandalorian. We got Celebration coming up. My guess is after Starfighter, we will get at least 2 projects announced going forward for the next couple years. And then, whatever other TV series that are in development are going forward. There is still a heavy rumor that there's a Darth Vader thing coming. From what I had heard, Hayden Christensen is not just back for Ahsoka. A lot of people thought like he was just coming back to do Ahsoka and that was it. But there's been multiple rumors that he's attached to another project that we have no idea about. Whether that's a live action Clone Wars show, whether it's a Darth Vader show or a Darth Vader movie, I think that's the direction they're going. But all up in the air. The funny part was Ian McDermott, Emperor Palpatine, was saying that before George sold to Disney that there was a plan for a Palpatine TV series that George was working on and coming up with. So I would not be opposed to seeing them combine the Emperor Palpatine idea with the Vader idea and give us that show. You get to see their relationship. You get to see the Inquisitors. You get to see them hunting Jedi and kind of ruling the galaxy. There are a lot of books in the series that like focus on that era and them especially. So I feel like it's very easy for them to do going forward, and I would not be opposed to seeing, I'm here for Hayden being here.
Definitely.
If you have them, like I said, if you have them available that they want to continue to do Star Wars stuff, I think you have no choice but to the fans, but to keep them around and keep them doing projects. So whether Kenobi's involved in it or not, I don't know, but it would be nice to see Hayden kind of continue to be a role in the Star Wars universe.
Star Wars is gonna have Hayderson on a 360 for the rest of his life, bro.
So you're fucking 90, just like Deadpool, just like Wolverine. I mean,
dead ass.
But I thought it was interesting. I'm very interested to see what these projects are going to be, what other series are going to be announced. All that we know as of right now, it's just another season of Ahsoka, which got pushed back to next year. We know we're going to have at least 1 or 2 more seasons of Maul Shadow Lord, and Starfighter coming. That's it. That's all we got for Star Wars. So Star Wars Celebration this year, I feel is really going to be ramped up, and the pressure is going to be on them to really like deliver on whatever they're going to announce.
On the announcement sides, yeah, there's definitely gonna be some good shit coming out. So excited, can't wait to watch. That good stuff.
And along with Jeff Snyder's report on the In Snyder, he let out some X-Men movie news. So apparently, from what he's heard, the movie is going to go into production at the end of this year. It's going to start pre-production, so that means they're going to be casting. They're going to be working on, sets and all of that type of stuff to get ready for production for next year. Apparently, the director has had multiple meetings with actors already regarding different roles. We had talked about Dunk, the actor who plays Dunk on Night of the Seven Kingdoms, being mentioned for Beast. Apparently, Charles Melton is another name that's been rumored around playing Beast. I'm not familiar with him. I guess he was in something that recently that got a lot of, I think maybe Beef or one of those shows that got a lot of critical acclaim. So he's somebody that they've been kicking the tires on apparently for Beast. The other rumored names that have still keep floating around is Odessa Azion. Jeff had said though, from what he's heard, she's not only up for an X-Men role, but she's also up for big cinematic movie. So it's kind of a toss up as to, does she do both? Does she just pick one or the other? I don't know the behind the scenes stuff regarding that, but she's been an actress that I've heard heavily rumored mainly as Rogue. That's kind of the fan cast for her, which I'd be fine with. Patrick Schwarzenegger is another one that keeps getting rumored for Cyclops. I don't know how true that is. This wasn't in Jeff's report. This is just a name that's been floating around, which I'm cool with now that I have seen White Lotus and he was in season 3. I kept looking at him the whole entire time what? How does he look with a visor on? Can he pull it off? And
just cover his eyes and pause the screen.
And he could. So I'm cool with that. The other name that has been floating around, and I just feel like she gets floated around for pretty much anything nowadays, is Sid Sweeney. If they were going to cast her, I could fully 100% see her playing Emma Frost. Her assets being used and but I kind of would like to see an actual good actress get to play Emma Frost rather than, just eye candy. That's all she was that's all she was in the First Class movies. She wasn't anything of use in those First Class movies. She played a little bit role, but they cast a popular hot actress at the time just to kind of have somebody there for you to look at. And I feel like if you're going to do Emma in this new iteration of X-Men stuff, that you should have somebody that's an actual caliber actress to play her, but we'll see what happens. And pretty much
this girl.
Oh,
I was gonna say this girl Azan Adisa. She's the one that was from Marty Supreme, right?
Yes, and her sister is Gideon Adelon, who voiced Devin in Maul.
Yeah, I do see her playing Rogue. I definitely do see that.
Yeah, she's been rumored around. I don't know. From what we heard, they were just going to go with the OG5, but now I'm hearing different things that Magic could be part of this team, and other character names that don't necessarily fit. So it'll be interesting to see.
I'm here for it all. Let's go.
Some other announcements that we got this week. Mike Myers, with the debut of his Austin Powers commercial, announced that we are getting an Austin Powers 4. The whole cast is returning. He does look, a lot older, but it's going to be interesting to see how he pulls this off, especially with how much time has gone by.
Based off of that commercial, it does give me hopes that we really could do Austin Powers 5.
Yeah.
And giving the next sequel movies that he's doing, we're about, you're gonna say the Shrek thing next. It tells me that we're getting Mike Myers is back.
At least for now. It seems like he's trying to do one last hurrah run. Shrek 5 for the teaser for that was announced. So we saw the teaser almost a year ago for it that came out that announced that they were doing Shrek 5. Now they've been working on it, obviously, so we got an actual official trailer of it. The animation does look slightly different. I will say
Hell yeah.
I don't know if it's better or worse, but it does look different, considerably different than the original like DreamWorks animation that they did for the first movie. But
I think they're trying to match it to be more on how the Puss in Boots movie that came out a
yeah.
little bit ago, that like I did trying to match the
Well,
animation
and
to be like that.
that is how the last Puss in Boots movie ended, with him getting on the ship and going back. So like he's going to be a part
Yeah.
of this movie. Like we're going to
Hmm.
continue to see those stories play out. I'm here for it. I'm a Shrek fan. I'm not like crazy like Shrek fan, but
Hmm.
I'm here for it. I'm here for Austin Powers 4. I think it'll be funny, especially like with the way times have changed. It'll be interesting to see how like they really approach the comedy and the humor in it compared to like what it was
Hmm.
before. I'd also be interested to see if Heather Graham's going to come back or not. Like that would be a fun like bring her back. Might
Mm,
as well.
yeah.
But if not, we'll get both those movies.
Yeah, definitely. For Shrek, I'm actually happy about that because we are getting like at least we're getting all the main cast come back. So that's the thing that makes me most happy, where it's
Mhm.
not like a reboot or something like that. Because Eddie Murphy's here, Meg Myers, I'm sure Cameron Diaz is as well, and I don't know. Oh, Zendaya is actually in this movie. She plays
Yeah.
the kid,
And Skylar
so that's gonna be
Jacinto
dope
too.
too.
Yeah,
Mm,
Skylar
yeah.
Jacinto is going to play the other kid. Um, yeah, so we got those announced. We also got an announcement of a new Grinch movie. So the Grinch 2 will be happening with Jim Carrey and Ron Howard both coming back. From what I've heard, though, is that Jim Carrey might not have to go through the extensive makeup process that he went through originally. I think they're going to try
I
to
would hope not.
I think they're going to try to utilize motion capture in this as opposed to, putting him through that. The last time he was in the chair for almost 10 hours getting all that makeup put on. And he had said that it was the most strenuous thing. It gave him very bad anxiety attacks because like he wanted to get out of it, but he couldn't. Um,
Yeah.
so he had said in the past like the only way he would do another one is if like they utilized motion capture. So I could fully see him just being dotted up and like maybe in a costume and just mocapping it as opposed to you know
Hmm.
doing all the makeup and the extensive work on him. But I'm here for it.
Hmm.
The Grinch is still a classic like that original one. So I feel like if you're gonna do it, you have to bring Jim Carrey and Ron Howard back to do
Yeah.
another one.
And like plus like it's the Grinch, so like I don't think anything's ever gonna be better than the first one.
Yeah,
So like this
it
one,
could be.
I go at it and have as much fun as you want. I'm good. I got my classic at the end of the day,
I'm
so we're
interested to
good.
see like what the story aspect's going to be too. Like obviously he's going to I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know if they'll like go with the fact that he's an older Grinch. Like this years have passed now, maybe Cindy Lou's all grown up and like that would be an interesting
Hmm.
concept. But I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I really don't know like what the plan is regarding this, but I'm here for it. I am.
And and like to be clear, like this stuff is just in the works. Like there's nothing like a set script
No,
that's
this
like
is this is
day or
going
anything.
into production soon. Like they announced it. They officially said they're
Okay,
all
cool.
back. They've had somebody working on a script apparently for a while. So this is going to happen, like 100% going to happen.
Fire.
On top of that, and
That's
talking
cool.
about scripts, the other thing that's still up in the air is Alien Romulus, the sequel to Alien Romulus.
Right.
No one is really sure who's going to be directing this movie at this point. The previous director is not staying on. Apparently, there's rumors that Ridley Scott wants to come back and get another crack at it because it is his franchise. But as of right now, the sequel is still in pre-production, but has nobody attached to direct. So they have a script. They have somebody penning a script for it. They just have
Hmm.
not been able to kind of iron out the director. And I don't know if it has to do with Ridley Scott like having his hand in things, or if it's just because of the pressure of like trying to succeed where Romulus you know did so well.
Yeah, I just really wish my own thing with Ridley Scott is how he's so like picky with the aliens universe
Mm.
and the connection between that and Predator.
Yeah.
Like
And you've had Dan
he
Trachtenberg do such a
that
good job with Predator that the previous director, like the idea was to merge these franchises eventually and go to another of Aliens versus Predator. I would prefer not to have Ridley Scott like involved. I would prefer to have somebody who has the same vision as Dan Trachtenberg, where they can meet in the middle and you can make this happen. Because Predator Badlands
And clearly
was
Dan wants
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
And clearly Dan wants that because of, like, in the recent Predator movie, you know, they did pay homage to the mech suit. So it's like, he's just an asshole. I'm sorry, that's just what it is.
Yeah, so I'm
Like,
interested to see what's going to happen, but I do want to see a sequel to Romulus. Like, I loved Romulus. I thought it was great. Great way to like bounce the franchise back. I'm a Prometheus and Covenant fan. I love those movies. I know a lot of other people don't, but I personally love both those movies. Some people will look at those movies as like failures for the Alien franchise. I look at it as like they did so much lore building with those two movies that like I really like them. But when you look at Romulus, Romulus was the thing that got them back kind of to where, you know, where they wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Another thing that is pretty much going to happen. It seems like despite their failures at the box office, they did bounce back though this week and still deliver a strong box office. But it seems like Masters of the Universe is going to get a sequel. Amazon and MGM basically said they are committed to building out this world and catering to the fans of this franchise. And I really do. After I saw the movie, I was like, I don't see what anyone's talking. Like, this movie was actually really good. I think when it goes to Prime and people can watch it at home, I think people are going to lose their mind, be like, yo, this is fucking awesome. Like, so I don't see the downside of them. Maybe they're going to cut the budget back a little bit. I could see that, but there's no downside in doing a sequel. I think this cast, if you can keep them together and continue to make these movies, I think you have something here. And just because the box office did one thing, I think when it comes to DVD sales and toy sales and all the other aspects that come into play, that this movie probably did way more than it should have. You know what I mean? Like, I think in the long run, the benefit coming out of this is going to be that you can build a franchise now. People can, who maybe like me, who weren't Motu fans, might actually get invested in this franchise. If I know that, hey, you're going to make a sequel, you're going to make a third one, you're going to do whatever you're going to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
please
good.
do, because I need to see those toys and Aldi's out of there this year, because I come in there and I see that shit.
Ones. Yeah.
Why? I'm like, I would go crazy as a kid for these damn toys, but
well, you can buy them as an adult.
It is what,
I do it all the time.
I mean, you're right.
So.
You're right, but I would need to like start from ground zero, and with the hobbies and the things I do already, it's just it'll be already too much. So
yeah,
just saying, guys, do the work and get them toys out. The kids want them.
The other thing, I don't know. Did you get a chance to see the whale fall footage now? The trailer for it?
I did not.
Okay, so this was the movie we had talked about from CinemaCon, where they showed the whole audience this diver being wrapped up by a squid, that the squid's being eaten by a whale. And the trailer shows that in the trailer. Apparently, there's a different version from the version shown at CinemaCon, where you got a much longer sequence, but it looks amazing. I was shocked when I saw this trailer. I really just think it looks cool. I don't know if the movie itself is going to have a big enough story to it to like keep people interesting, because it is Jonah and the Whale. It's just like a modern day take on it, but I am interested to see like how this movie eventually does.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought
I gotta check this out then. I would definitely enjoying the whale. That's like a folklore. What is that?
Yeah, it's a guy who gets swallowed by the whale and lives in the whale's stomach, and that's what's gonna happen in this movie.
Like the Pinocchio story, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. All right. Yeah, I gotta check that out then.
So, it should be interesting. It looks fucking incredible when you're watching the sequence. Like, you feel terrified of this guy. You're like, wait, no, and then he goes in, and it's like, oh shit. So, I'm gonna be here for it. I don't think I'll go see it in the theaters, but I will definitely check that movie out when it hits streaming.
This is something that is not on the list, but I wanted to talk about it because I didn't realize it at first. But so I was looking for, as everybody knows, our tickets for Spider-Man just came out. So I was looking for tickets and stuff, and at first I thought, hey, I want to go see this movie in IMAX. Then realizing there's no IMAX for it,
Hmm.
and I said, why? Well, that's because Christian Nolan has fucking Odyssey books from like July 17 to like I think like August something. And I was like, God damn, like that movie, I don't think that the dates don't come out. They don't come out around the same time, do they? That early enough that you can just book them out like that
Well,
in advance.
it all depends on Disney, as we've seen, they're not invested in IMAX. They don't benefit off of it. Like even Doomsday is not in IMAX, so they're
Yeah, I
not
was
looking
like,
at that. And that seems to be a heavy trend now with these younger kids. They want to go see the movie in the format that the movie's intended to be seen in. So like for
mm-hmm.
Christopher Nolan movies, you're going to go see it in IMAX. He worked with IMAX and built a special camera just to shoot this movie. So like if you're a cinema buff, you're going to want to go see this movie in the way it's intended to be shown.
Right.
So
That's how I was looking for
that's
Spider Man.
that's what you're
Because
saying.
then I
But
started
Marvel,
seeing.
on the other hand, they don't care about the IMAX shit. For them, they're doing the Infinity Vision, where you can go to one of their special branded fucking studios that doesn't matter. It's just a normal studio that's paying them money to get that fucking label, and that's all it is. There's no different format.
Mhm.
There's no different way of viewing the movie. It's just that's it.
Yeah, that's a bum. Because I started seeing stuff for like they made the movie for Screen X's, and
Hmm.
I don't go. I never really see a movie in Screen X's. I just never. I mean, it's a cool concept, but it's not something my go to. So like,
The one by
I'm
me
seeing that.
closed. It didn't last very long. It only lasted maybe a couple months, and they closed it pretty
Mm.
quick.
And I watched the trailer the way they showed it because they gave you a rotation trailer of how it would look, and I
Hmm.
was like, damn, this would be cool, but that's a Screen X is always my second option. Like on my second watch, I do things like
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
4D or Screen X. Like that's always on my second watch. So we'll see what I do. But I was bummed out that they didn't have it in IMAX.
Yeah, that's Marvel for you though. That they don't have that partnership. They're shooting way too much stuff. Like Doomsday is still being edited right now. They don't even have this movie ready. We're less than 6 months away, and this movie is still being tweaked with, still doing special effects on it. I really do not have any faith in Doomsday coming right now.
No trailer is crazy to
We're
me.
so
That
we
to
are
the point that you have to.
well, we are getting the trailer at Comic Con. Comic Con is only a couple weeks away. It'll be there at Comic Con. There's banners already up in San Diego for it. It's being shown at San Diego. Marvel doesn't have anything else to debut at Hall H. That's all they have is Avengers Doomsday. There's nothing else. Like all their projects are wrapped up in this Avengers thing, and then Secret Wars is the next thing. So like that's it. Um, I just to me, I'm not seeing the hype. There was a leak scene that floated around for Doomsday. It is an actual leak scene, whether somebody recreated it in AI and put it out, or whatever the case may be, or Disney themselves saw what Sony did with Spider-Man and decided, hey, let's do this fake leak thing too. I didn't see nobody talking about this scene online. Like, I'm on Twitter all day long. I did not see a single person retweet it, talk about it, nothing. So maybe it's my algorithm, but I don't think the hype is there that they think is here. I think they think they have a built-in hype, but I think a lot of people just kind of threw their hands up and said, "Hey, I don't care what you're doing anymore. I'm just not interested. I got my ending with Endgame, and that's it. I'm out. I'm out of all this other stuff that you guys are doing." And
The fact
that's
that
going to
I'm
be a
seeing on
legit
my
problem.
timeline. Yeah, it is. The thing I'm seeing on my timeline is people starting to make AI generated trailers of the trailer that they saw at CinemaCon.
Yeah, because
And I
that's how
just
you
feel
get
like
around
if
copyright.
and I just feel like if you have people doing that now, and you still don't have a trailer out, that it just looks real sad. Like because
But like I said,
you being Marvel and
you're
who you
getting
are,
the
you should
trailer.
already have this. You should
But
already have the trailer out.
but you're getting it at Comic Con because that's all they have. They don't have anything else for Comic Con, the biggest stage in of the year for this fandom, and that's all they have. Like every year, Marvel came out swinging. They were the top thing. Everybody had to go. I do not think that's the case anymore. And I think you're going to see it firsthand this year. They're going to drop that Doomsday trailer. And either people are going to lose their fucking minds and it'll be all over the internet, or it'll come and go, and you'll get a lot of people talking shit about this looks bad, the special effects look bad, whatever the case may be. I think they think this is a home run, and I personally think this is a big swing that they're hoping is a home run. And there's a distinct correlation between the two.
Well, I also think it also has a lot to do, like the trailer reaction is gonna do what it's gonna do, but honestly, the true test is what if the movie is actually good, and
because it's going to generate money, but is it a good movie? Yeah. Same thing with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going to generate all kinds of money because people are going to go see it, but at the end of the day. I already have a lot of like hesitations about this movie based off the trailer. We talked about it last week. So I don't know. I think they're in a weird predicament, and I think it's going to be very up in the air, and we're not going to be able to tell, like, until Comic-Con rolls around, until the Spider-Man is out in theaters, and until we get, Doomsday actually being out. I think that's where we're at, and unfortunately for Marvel.
This also broke last week, but we didn't talk about it. But I know Chris Evans said that he is going to be in Secret Wars, like recently in an interview.
Yeah.
So, like,
you knew it. Like, that's not a secret.
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah. We knew that too. But it's like, why are you telling me stuff about Secret Wars and I don't even know?
Because it's not. That's not a fucking issue. You knew he was going to be in Secret Wars. He's coming back for this movie. He is the heart and soul of this movie, this Doomsday movie.
I just feel like it's so mixy though. Like, why
that's
are
Marvel,
we going there when we haven't even got here yet?
Because they don't have a plan. Like, they don't even have a script for Infinity War, like for Secret Wars. They don't even know what they're going to do come Secret Wars. That movie will be cobbled together just like Doomsday is. So, like, that's what I'm saying. They're in a predicament, and we'll see how that all goes for them. And one way or another, they're going to have to figure it out. Disney, though, on the other hand, got a smash fucking hit, just like I said, with Toy Story 5. It opened.
Did you check it out?
It opened to $312 million. It is the second highest opening for an animated film ever. It might have even risen before that. It was the number one debut.
I took a picture this morning on the news.
The entire year. This is the number one grossing movie of the year currently. It will continue to be the number one grossing movie of the year, and it will surpass $1 billion in no time. From everything I've heard, this is one of the best ones that they've ever done. The story is phenomenal. I did not get a chance to go. I was going to try to go yesterday, but I did not have a chance to go. If it does end up raining tomorrow and I get a day off, I might go hit the theater and check it out. But
tomorrow's
I've heard
discount.
nothing but great things about it, and I'm really looking forward to watching it. I went back and watched the other 4 over the past week.
I did too.
And so I'm ready for it. I'm very impressed. I still think this is going to beat out any other movie for the entire year, regardless of the stuff that's coming out. The Odyssey, Doomsday could come close, but I feel like Toy Story 5 is just going to run away with the box office at this point.
Yeah, so this morning I was watching the news and they were talking about it, and the headline that I took a picture of was Toy Story 5 sets franchise record, opening record, film tallies. They're saying 160 million in the first weekend at the box office. So
yeah, domestic.
That was on ABC News this morning.
Domestic, yeah. But in total, worldwide, 312 million. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to see. Hopefully, I can check it tomorrow. That would be cool. But yeah, you said it. And those popcorn buckets are fucking dope. I want that Buzz Lightyear one.
Yeah, they're doing some cool stuff. The Spider-Man ones were shown off too, so they've been shown. But comics of the week this week, you said you did not have anything, right?
Oh wait, there's one more thing we were supposed to say. The Todd McFarlane.
So Todd McFarlane posted a picture with him and Jamie Foxx playing pickleball. For those of you guys that don't know, there has been a Spawn movie that has been in pre-production and rumored for years, with Jamie Foxx attached to be in it. At one point, it was going to move forward, but then Jamie Foxx got sick and did not go through with it. They are teasing it though now, so I'm not sure if this means that we are going to get the movie, if we're not going to get the movie. But Todd sure as hell was.
So Jamie was always the one meant to be in this role.
No, so originally it was Jay White who was the first original one, and Michael Jai White was in the original Spawn movie that came out. But Todd wanted to do King Spawn. That was kind of the idea. And Jamie Foxx has been attached to the role now for probably going on almost 10 years. So it was odd that Todd posted this picture on Juneteenth of all days with Jamie. And in the picture, there is a Spawn paddle that he had facing the camera. And Jamie had something Spawn on himself. So I don't know, but it seems like Todd is teasing that maybe something is going to go forward with this movie finally.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Just basically awful, just like Jamie coming off of that really scared sickness that he had. And just also by like with age too. Like, I don't know if he's still able to play him.
He's supposed to be King Spawn. He's going to be in full prosthetic or CGI. So like, it doesn't really matter. That doesn't matter. That's not going to be a big thing. But I hope it eventually goes through. We'll see. And Ande said he didn't have comics of the week this week. So I have 3 here. First is Absolute Batman. I say it every time another one of these issues drops. This is my favorite series that I'm reading. This issue was so good. Seeing your first full view of Harvey and both sides of Harvey, seeing what his group is up to, seeing Bruce face off against the Robins, and Jason Todd being a typical Jason Todd in this universe as well, which was funny. But we are leading to the debut of Absolute Batgirl. It is going to be coming. That was the announcement from Scott Snyder, and this issue does something to set up like the seeds of that. We also get our first confrontation between Jack Grimm, Joker, and Bruce Wayne at the very end of this issue, and what a confrontation that was. Uncanny X-Men, Gail Simone, I say it every week, friend of the show, Gail Simone. This book continues to be the best X-Men book that they have going at Marvel right now. The way this team is written, the way the characters are written, it's fantastic. The Brood are showing up, it looks like, for an invasion to try to take Rogue. I'm not sure why, but we're going to find out. And then simultaneously, we're watching Monet, Quicksilver, try to take hold of Grey Malkin Prison, and Monet and Sarah Gaunt have a throwdown. Sarah Gaunt decimated most of this team in the first arc of this book, but she found when she faced Penance that it was a no-win scenario. Monet whooped that ass. So Monet and Pietro will eventually be joining this team and be, full-fledged members of this book, which I absolutely fucking can't wait for. I can't wait to see how they're going to react with the kids. But the way the kids are written in this issue is so good. I love the Outliers. I'm here for them. Dan Yoon, if you're listening, I need Marvel Legends of them soon. Please, please. But I love this. And then the big thing we've been talking about, Spider-Man and the talk. It is here. It happened. We found out what the big thing was going to be. I don't know where this is going to lead for issue 1000. So, spoiler alert for those of you that have not read this issue. We come to find out that Peter Parker has an older cousin. An older cousin, you may say. Yep. Uncle Ben and Aunt May had a child that they thought died in the hospital, but apparently didn't, and now is back as an older man. So Peter's got a cousin. I don't know what this means for Peter going forward. I don't know how this is going to change things. I don't know if he's going to end up becoming a villain. I don't know how this is all going to go. But the talk happened. it felt very soap opera-y. I was like, this is like some General Hospital Days of Our Lives shit. So I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out. I'm not going to judge it until we see the end result. And this was just the setup. We still have 2 more issues, right? This is not, actually 5 more issues before we get to 1,000. So I'm sure for the next 5 issues, we're going to see how this all plays out. But yeah, those are my picks for the week. I would definitely recommend picking up these books. Spider-Man Alone is probably going to be a historical issue just because of like the reveal. I would think it would be something you'd want to have in your collection. And then Absolute Batman, like I said, every issue, this is like a collector's item because it's a first appearance of somebody. So really cool. Absolutely loved it. What do you have for what you're watching this week?
So this week has been very good. I rewatched, no, not even rewatched. I watched for the first time Dark Phoenix of the X-Men because for some reason I don't remember ever watching that movie.
Not good. Not good.
Not good.
Nope.
Now I remember why I never watched it because
that's why.
What the fuck?
Yeah. That's why
I didn't know this though.
That's why
I didn't notice in the movie though that Star Dazzler, is that what her name is?
No.
Is in this movie?
Dazzler. Just Dazzler.
Dazzler, yes, yeah. I didn't know she was in this movie.
Only a cameo. And it's not Taylor Swift like everybody wanted. Yeah, no. That movie's a train wreck from start to finish. Everything they wanted to do never panned out, and Sophie Turner was a horrible Jean Grey. I'm dreading seeing her in Tomb Raider. Like, I loved her in Game of Thrones, but man, I am dreading seeing her play Tomb Raider and Lara Croft. Like, I don't think she's the right pick for that role at all. They had Haley Atwell right there, and they just whiffed it.
I do like the Cyclops that they have in this movie, though. I thought he was okay.
He's all right.
He was Cyclops.
Nothing special.
He was Cyclops.
Nothing special. Yeah, no, those movies are god awful. And Simon Kinberg, who is writing the next Star Wars trilogy, is the one who wrote that movie. So we'll see.
So I watched that, and then I really, really, really love this new show that I got into called Sugar, Apple TV joint, and it stars Colin Farrell from The Penguin, Colin Farrell, and he is basically a spy, and he's trying to find this. So there's a guy in this show named David Single. They are a big Hollywood producer and stuff. This show takes place in California, and they are trying. He is basically like he finds people who go missing. There's a lot of spoiler in this main show, so that's why I don't want to tell you. But basically, it is a sci-fi show, and at first you don't realize it's sci-fi until you get to like episode 6 of the first season, and it's totally becomes sci-fi, and I'm like, oh shit, I was not expecting that. If you like L.A. Noire vibes, old 1960s type of vibes, California in that time period, you will really, really like the show.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
But there's a season 2 out now. One and 2 is out, and I just got to season 2 of episode 1.
Okay,
and I'm ready to binge.
Yeah, I don't really think I have anything really I was watching this week. I was checking out the Toy Story movies. I just kind of went on a rewatch of those, and then House of Dragons. I went back and watched like a couple of episodes from the last season, and then got ready, because I wanted to remember how they left it off for this season. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me for this
I thought
week.
The recap that they did for House of Dragons for season 3 in the beginning was pretty good to get people like refreshed.
Yeah, no, they always do a good job with the recaps for Game of Thrones. They never really do a poor job with that, even on the original show. So, but that will do it for this episode of TalkNSupes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on social media. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on wherever you listen to podcasts, and give us a review. Let us know what you think of the show. We would truly appreciate it. And until then, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.